This is my guy Kyle McKenzie, and working with me on the lean build standard, he was able to put on 11 pounds of muscle. I'm going to show you guys his transformation, what he did, what we changed in his diet, and then we're going to go into interview with him, kind of talking about his journey through this and how he was able to put on this muscle. I'm going to start by showing you guys the difference in pictures from when he started versus at the end of the program. And you can see, man, his physique changed a lot. Like over here, his stomach is pretty flabby. You can see his arms are pretty weak. There's not a ton of definition in his chest either. And then, this is the after. You can see he's put on a good bit of size. He looks thicker, but also you'll notice his abs look way leaner in this picture than this. And it's pretty remarkable because this is after he did the bulk. And what I'm trying to show you guys is that you can be bulking in a good way to the point where you're getting leaner in the process too. This is why I call it the lean build standard. We want to have the leanest, most aesthetic physique possible, getting super shredded, and then putting on weight from there. Again, look at the difference in this picture. Look at his belly here versus this just cut. Look at the difference in these lines. It's just insane that he did this while putting on weight. I'm going to show you guys kind of Kyle's exact journey and the specific things we optimized for him to let him have this transformation while being a very busy guy, while training jujitsu and Muay Thai, while working crazy hours. And the coolest thing about his journey is that I did it in a way where he was super shredded the entire time. So this is day one when he came to me. You can see it's like he's in pretty good shape, but he's not the leanest possible. The stomach looked a little bit all right. We could see there was some area in the belly there. I wanted to get that off because in this process, I wanted him to be super shredded. I didn't want to have him bulk without being extremely shredded. And when he came to me, he just wanted to put on muscle. I had to kind of have a conversation with him and tell him, he's like, hey, I know you want to put on muscle, but we're going to start by bulking, or we're going to start by cutting, and that's exactly what we did. This was day one. He came to me at 161 pounds. Midway through month two, we did our check-in. We got him down to 155 pounds. You can see here, he's shredded. He's extremely diced. Like, did a really good job with the cut. He executed on everything perfectly. Once we got here, we were very, very happy with his physique. Like, you can see the progress between these two pictures. We got him down to 155, and now that was when the fun was starting. So that's when we started to do our lean bulk. So since he was super shredded, we followed the lean bulk. We did a progressive overload with our weights. We made sure that he was counting his calories, increasing in a caloric surplus, and he went from 155 in month two to 166 pounds at the end of month five. You can see here in these two pictures, like he looks way thicker in this picture. He's way more defined. Arms look bigger. And again, you can see the abs are present in both. Like, even though he put on weight, he put on good weight. So you can see it's like the abs are still very visible and he is still super shredded. And I was very, very pleased with how his transformation came out over the 5 months. Now I'm going to kind of show you guys what exactly we did for Kyle to help him get there. A couple things we had to subtract and a couple things we had to add into his daily routine. First thing was just food, getting down the proper diet, proper nutrition plan for him. We had to take out all of the ultra processed food. Now, Kyle was eating a good bit of this stuff because he did not have the most solid understanding of nutrition. So he was definitely having a lot of ultra processed food in his diet. By just taking that out and focusing on whole foods, it made everything way cleaner and it made it possible for him to have this transformation and lose this much fat. We also took out all protein bars and protein shakes. So he was consuming a lot of those to try and hit his protein goal because he didn't understand that there's different kinds of protein and that some protein is more optimal than others. Cut out all that stuff. We tried to make sure he got most of his protein from actual whole foods. And then other stuff was just bad habits, staying up late, snacking, all these little things that just weren't adding up and were not getting him to the physique he wanted. We had to really lock down and make sure that we optimized. Here are the things that we added. Number one, animal-based protein. Again, we cut out the protein bars, cut out the protein shakes. We wanted to get most of his protein, and not just from whole foods, but from actual animal-based sources. So ground beef, chicken, eggs, milk. Like, we got all of his protein from this. He was eating his body weight in protein every single day, and that was huge for him. On top of that, bulking hacks. Now, Kyle always had a fast metabolism. Like, obviously, he wasn't the most shredded ever, but he was a very lean person still. He wasn't a fat person because he had a fast metabolism his entire life. So to overcome that, we had to implement some bulking hacks. So he wasn't just eating food and being stuffed the entire time because you can't live like that. So little things like at night, doing a lot of his calories then because he couldn't be front loading his calories. He was busy throughout the entire day, didn't have too much time in the morning. We made sure that we piled on the calories at night before he went to sleep. So a couple things we did were whole milk with maple syrup, and he would have 2 glasses of this after dinner. Now that's a good bit of calories. It's kind of an ultimate bulking food. Think about milk. What is the utility of milk? Milk is literally meant to help baby animals grow. Like a mother produces milk to help the baby grow. Cows do the same thing. Milk is inherently a bulking food, so by slamming whole milk, adding in maple syrup for clean carbs, those were two big bulking hacks. On top of that, we were having him eat a lot of Haagen-Dazs, which is probably the cleanest source of ice cream. That has a lot of cream, a lot of sugar. It was good stuff. We also just tracked his calories before. His excuse was, I'm just trying to eat more. That's how I'm going to bulk. But got rid of that. Made sure we were actually tracking the calories in the Trainerize app that I use for all my clients. That was huge. And then we also optimized his sleep. Now, he worked a pretty laborious job. He had to wake up very, very early. So I'm making sure he had the blue light blocking glasses, make sure he was optimizing his melatonin, taking magnesium. We made sure he was sleeping like a baby and feeling good. And overall, this is what the lean build standard is for. It's like I said with Kyle, we wanted to get him shredded so that we can then bulk, because that was exactly what I did in my journey as well. I also was someone who had naturally fast metabolism. I was like, can I put on weight? All this stuff. This was me at 125 pounds. And then 3 years later, this was me at 170 pounds. You can see the massive difference here. I mean, just look at my arm in this picture versus this picture. It's pretty crazy to see this transformation, but you can also see it's like, hey, I have visible abs at 170 pounds too. I was very, very lean, and that's exactly what we want, to bulk while staying lean throughout the entire time. Now, enough of hearing from me. I'm going to go right into the interview with Kyle, where he's talking about his story and how he was able to put on 11 pounds of muscle. What's up, Kyle? How are you doing, man?
Yo, what's up? How we doing?
How's your night going?
It's going pretty good, you know. Just got done playing basketball, about to cook up some ground beef, some sweet potatoes, you know.
Yeah, dude, good stuff. I'm excited to talk to you and just kind of, dive into everything that we did together when you're back on the protocol, but just like a little bit of an overview. I think we worked together for 5 months, and came to me, you were like decently good shape. You were skinny, but you definitely had a little bit more fat. And when you came to me, you said you wanted to bulk, and the first
hmm
thing I made you do was cut down and get shredded. And I remember you were a little confused, and I think you told me after, you're like, hey, like I said I wanted to bulk, but you had me get shredded. But we're gonna talk about this with this video, but it's like it actually ended up being like a pretty good move for you, because you got super shredded and you were able to lean bulk from there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I think was a big difference, just because I wanted to gain lean mass, and by doing so, you eliminated like all the excess fat for me, and that just made me, and also throughout that like cut, I was able to get used to all the whole foods. So then when the time came to like actually bulk, I was like used to all the foods. I was used to like the routine of just having only meals, no snacks, and yeah, it really helped. At first, I was really confused though. I almost stopped just because I was confused. But
Yeah, dude. I think one thing that definitely helped was we worked together for a minute. It's like you signed up for the 3 month program, and then we did 3 months, and you're like, dude, I could really use another month of this. And then we did another, and you're like,
yeah,
yeah, I think I could use another month. And then we ended up doing 5 months total, which is awesome, because it's just like
hmm
you're obviously gonna get a way better product if you keep staying locked in. So just the fact that you had like those extra 2 months at the end, I think was really, really big, and really important for the bulk. But I
yeah.
kind of want to start by asking, like, what made you reach out to me in the first place? Like, this was back in October 2025. Like, kind of where were you with your physique? What were your goals, and what made you reach out to me?
All right, cool. Yeah. So at first, I was kind of just hitting the gym, doing whatever, and what was it? It was I kind of just saw you like online, just from like a friend's story, and I looked into it, and I saw that you did the same thing. You gained 40 pounds, and I've never really seen someone like promote bulking. I've really seen like a lot of people just promote cutting.
Mm.
And when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I just have to do it. Like I had the money at the time, and I was like, I need someone to hold me accountable. I need someone that has already done it before, someone who has a fast metabolism. 'Cause I saw you did wrestling, so I was like, he
Mhm.
sweats. He knows what it's like, burning a ton of calories. So that's really what made me choose you in this
Yeah,
program.
dude. And I think it's like you said, like if you go to Instagram, you're gonna see like everybody and their mother is talking about like nutrition, like weights and all that stuff. But most people are definitely talking more about like, hey, this is how you get really lean to start. And then there's people like me and you who are in a bit of a different category, because like you said, like, dude, we're just like naturally on the leaner side. Like neither of us were
hmm
ever like fat in our whole lives. So it's hard to like say like we were never 200 pounds having to lose 30
No.
pounds. Like we were never like that. We always had fast metabolisms. We could always like eat as much as we wanted.
hmm
And it's like, yeah, that's why like I like posting. It's like my story was not like getting like super shredded. Like I started pretty shredded, and I definitely got more lean in the process, but the bigger thing was just like putting on weight. And so like when I was so happy when you reached out to me, because like I had never worked with somebody to just like put on weight before. Everyone I had kind of talked about was just like, hey, how can I get leaner? But then it was like with you, I was like, this is kind of like this guy's in such a similar position to where I was. So what can we do to just like get him more shredded, but then also just put on some lean size?
Hmm. Yeah, no, it was awesome. Super
Mm.
worth it.
Yeah. So just like to recap, so you came to me at 161 pounds. Like we said, like
Hmm.
skinny, I definitely had a good bit of muscle, but a little bit of fat in the belly area as well. And so I
Hmm.
think the first maybe a month and a half, maybe first 2 months, we had you like just kind of doing like the standard like lean build diet of just like a lot of ground beef, a lot of eggs, fruit, potatoes, and put you in like kind of a slight deficit. And I
Hmm.
think you went from 161 to about 155 after like a month and a half, 2 months, and then from there is like the period where we were lean bulking. And after like 3 months of that, like we got you up to 166 pounds. So you put on 11 pounds in that process, and it's cool because you're look at the pictures, like you're way leaner at 166 than you were at 161 when you came to me. So I think it's just a testament to hey, it's definitely possible to get leaner and gain muscle. You just got to do it the right way.
No, exactly. I agree with that. And what what kind of like helped me was like you said, just the cut. It was the main thing was just getting used to like the whole foods because I know your whole program is also getting into the whole foods, which
Mm-hmm.
I 100% support. And with that, getting into the whole with the cutting, it was just easier to get used to if that made sense instead of having to like hound 3,600 calories of just straight whole foods when I've never done
Yeah.
that before. So
Mm-hmm.
getting used to just like having Greek yogurt in the morning, then just like beef and rice, and then at night just having a dinner, and then that's it. It's perfect. And then also talking about the bulk, that month and a half with the cutting was mint, but the bulking, yeah, we did the extra 2 months, which was perfect. But what was it? Fuck, my
Yeah,
brain.
I want to hear a little bit about the bulk because there were definitely like some hurdles
Bro,
we could say.
bro, there
um,
were some up and downs.
yeah, to
Yeah.
talk about that, dude. At the end of the day, you ended really well, and we got a really good finished product. But I want to kind of hear about like how it was for you.
So the main thing was just since I'm on my feet and working throughout the whole day from like 6 to 2:30, that was the hardest just to get the food in. So I would have like one meal, I would have like the pound of rice and then like um close to a pound of potatoes for lunch and then like the Greek yogurt. So I would walk out of work with like 1,800 calories, maybe
Mhm.
2,000, which isn't that bad, but for me, when I have to get to like 3,000 calories as my maintenance, it's pretty tough then to have to eat like 3,500
Mhm.
calories with a few hours left. So that was probably one of the worst hurdles was just finding the time to eat.
Yeah.
But also the hurdle was finding my how finding the calories I needed to gain the weight. Because I know
Mhm.
at first we were like, all right, 3,000, let's try that. And it was just nothing. And then it was like 3,300, we got to do that now. And
Yeah.
then we just kept slowly creeping up and we found like the mint spot, which was
Mhm.
perfect.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I think was perfect.
You were eating a lot. I
Just,
think we got smarter with it too. Like I was definitely having you do like a lot of potatoes to start. But the thing
mhm.
about potatoes is like, man, they're really filling. It's easy to eat a lot of
Yeah.
French fries, but when you're making potatoes like you were, was it an air fryer?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, dude, it's hard to eat a lot of potatoes. And now if someone's cutting, I'll be like, after that experience, I'm like, yeah, like you could probably just eat a lot of white potatoes, and there's not a lot of calories unless you like drench it in olive oil. So it's just like getting smarter. Like that switch to white rice was huge, and then the
Hmm.
little hacks. Like I tried to have you do the dates with butter, but you weren't the biggest fan of that.
Yeah.
So it's
We don't got to talk about that.
it
Don't
was,
talk
it was
about
just
that.
finding
Yeah.
whatever little hacks.
No, I'm
The
happy I
the
tried it though, but
yeah,
yeah.
the milk with the maple syrup, and then the Haagen Dazs. Like those are two really good things.
Mint, dude, mint.
Yeah,
Nah, I could talk about that all day. Just
yeah,
that nightly routine.
yeah. What was your nightly routine?
Dude, it was just I would eat dinner, shower up, and then I would head back down into the kitchen, grab probably 2 cups of milk, put some maple syrup in there, have a bowl of ice cream, just down that. I'd go
Yeah.
to bed feeling probably like 200 pounds. But I think that's what the best is, just getting like that whole foods and that dairy at night. It's
Mhm.
huge.
Yeah. What was your diet like before you came to me? Like, would you say like one of the major changes was just like the cleaner foods and then just the consistency with eating a good bit?
I would say, yeah, it was really more because my trouble was just eating for work purposes,
Mhm.
like eating in the morning and then like eating for lunch because like there's so many good fast food places out, and I
Oh
was
yeah.
just like, so then when if I would like work with someone, they'd be like, "Oh, let's go grab food," and I would just fall into it. I'd be like, "Yeah, let's go grab it," and then I
Mhm.
just never really had like a good program either. So being able to like fall back on someone if I like ever was tempted, or yeah, basically my what's it called? My diet was bad. My diet was bad, flat
Yeah.
out. I don't want to sugarcoat it. It was just eat whatever, whenever, really.
Mhm.
Just because at my weight, and with having like the fast metabolism, it was just eat whatever, whenever.
Exactly, dude. Same with me. I was like, I was used to wrestle so much, and I was just a leaner person, so I felt like I could just eat whatever I wanted, and I was like invincible, you know. But it's like
Yeah,
if you're trying to bulk and put on good weight, that's just not the method, man. Like you're not
never.
gonna. There's no. In what world are you gonna put on like lean, good muscle just by doing what you and I did? Like it's not gonna happen. Like you're gonna put on some size, and some of that size is gonna be muscle, but like the majority of the size you're gonna put on is just fat. That's gonna have to come off anyways when
Hmm.
you cut down the line. So it's just you're telling yourself like, yeah, I'm doing the right things, I'm bulking, I'm having 3,500 calories, but if the calories are trash, then it's gonna reflect in your physique, you know.
Exactly. I like
Mm-hmm.
that.
100%. And what about the training side of things too? Like, what'd you enjoy about the program?
Dude, what I enjoyed about it was more so like a not an in and out type of thing, but really I see a ton of volume in other people where it's like 6 to 8 workouts, like you have to do 12 reps, like
Mm-hmm.
keep going, like, and I was pretty shocked at first seeing how it was just like 4 to 5 exercises and it was heavy. Like I've never done that before, and I loved it. Like, and right now, even though I'm out of the program for like a few months, I still use it to that day. I still do the weighted chest dips, still do the weighted pull ups. Like those are my hands down my favorite exercises.
Yeah,
When my
man.
shoulders when my shoulders feel good that day, they're
Yeah.
my favorite exercises. But
Yeah. I mean, that's a good way to build raw strength, man. Those two exercises, obviously.
hands down my
Yes.
favorite. So it was awesome. If I was like just throughout this whole thing, I was a little skeptical, but obviously like jumping into it, I'm like, let's trust it, and it all worked out like in the end.
Yeah, dude, 100%. People will go and work out, and they're just doing like fluff volume that isn't intense. So my mentality is always like, there's nothing wrong with doing volume, you know, but it's like
Hmm.
you got to make sure you're doing those intense workouts too. Like that's what really drives the muscle growth. So it's like
Yeah.
just I think you were doing like 6 to 8 reps for most of your stuff, but you're going heavy, dude. And I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but your weighted pull up got like really strong through the program. That was like one of the big
Dude,
ones,
it
right?
was like I think I couldn't even do a weighted pull up. I think I was at like 7 pull ups, non weighted, and then I got to 30 for 8 at the end of the program. So
Yeah,
that
and
was
your body weight was like close to 15. Is that right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, body weight pull ups. Yeah, they were close. I think it was like 16 or 17, something like that.
Yeah,
It was
dude,
nuts.
crazy. So
It was
it's just like
awesome.
building strength is gonna build muscle too, you know.
Hmm.
And it's awesome because then it's like you're kind of working on a skill, you know. It's like anyone can
Yeah.
sit at a cable machine and do stuff, whatever, for 30, 40 minutes, just like all these fluff exercises. But it's like just getting really strong at like weighted dips, weighted pull ups, some bench press, you know, some other stuff,
Hmm.
squats, whatever. It's just like that's gonna translate to everything. And you doing jujitsu as well. It's like, hey, that's gonna build real strength. It's gonna apply to like jujitsu, the striking you do. I know you taper that back a little bit just to focus on
Hmm.
the left end, but it's like yeah, that's gonna apply to everything, you know.
No, I remember telling you too. Like I noticed it, and I know someone else noticed it. Like people were like, "Oh shit, like you're strong, like for your size," and I was like, "Oh, thank you," but all
Mhm.
all to grass fed demon.
Yeah, dude, that's great. That's great. When you before you reached out to me, did you have like hesitations? I know we kind of like we had the mutual friend,
Hmm.
but did you have hesitations with working like online coach, someone you'd never met before, and also just like a lot of people think like trainer, they think in person, but obviously like you can find a lot of success going online as well.
Dude, a million percent, 100%. I had doubt. No
Yeah.
offense to you, no offense to you, but just to the just from like what I see, and it's kind of just the fact of like in the back of my head, it's always just like that, but you don't know like what I'm going through type of thing, just because it's
Mhm.
like everyone's different in that sense. And yeah, I did have doubt. I
Yeah.
did, and but I was just like I was at that point where I was just kind of sick of it, and I was like, I just need to do this, so I just went with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't when we got on that call, you didn't have any hesitations. You were, all in right away,
Hmm.
and it was. I love to see it. So you can kind of tell with someone. It's like someone could be on a call, like we do that qualification call to see if it's a good fit, and if they're hesitant, they're like, yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for this. It's like, how
Yeah,
bad do they actually want it? With you, it's like you were just ready to go. It's like, you kind of saw the opportunity cost. Like every day that you put it off is just like another day you're not going to reach your goals, and
yeah,
that's what I
exactly.
love about
I
you, dude.
remember like at first I was like, it was like the day after the qualification call. I'm like, yo, when's that meal plan coming out? Like, when's
Yeah,
that diet coming?
you were ready, dude.
But
You were itching for it.
yeah, no, it was good though.
Yeah, 100%. That's another thing too. It's like you were like, well, do they understand my story? Do they know what I've
Hmm.
gone through? It's like a personal trainer at the gym. It's like they don't have that same level of just like understanding as you can find in an online coach, because online you have access to so many people, so you can find someone that like whose story aligns with yours almost perfectly. So it's
Hmm.
like, man, if you're someone who's trying to lose like 50 pounds of fat, you can probably find someone who's 300 pounds who lost all that weight that's now an online coach. And they,
Yeah.
they will understand your story so much. So like for the people that I like to work with, ideally it's like people exactly like you who have those fast metabolisms, who is like, maybe I was a little bit leaner than you were when we started just because I was wrestling and I was cutting weight my whole
Hmm.
life. But it's like you have that fast metabolism, you were able to get away with it, but that wasn't working when it was coming to doing a lean bulk. And you knew like deep down, it's like, hey, something has to change. Like I need to be eating healthier. I need to be feeling better. And then that's why it was really, really good fit with us.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that was it. And back to the personal trainer thing, and the difference between that and the online. I honestly love the online version just because with like just like with my schedule as a whole, I was able just to like work out at my own time, but I was still able to like update you if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like I was able to, it was kind of just like I was able to work on it myself, but also have you to like fall back on or like text you if I need any questions, stuff like that.
Yeah, and you did a good job too about like just communicating. Like
Hmm.
we texted during the week and stuff. It was great, and it was
Yeah.
also like, hey, the nutrition part of it, I definitely did a good bit with that. But it was also just like the mindset with like, hey Kyle, you gotta take your creatine this week. There's one call
Yeah,
you were just
dude.
like, you were staying at your buddy's house or something, and I remember you hopped on the scale and you were like so low, and I'm like, there's no way. I was like
Bro,
so tight. And then I was like,
yeah.
dude, like you gotta really commit. Like you gotta be taking your creatine every day. You
Hmm.
gotta be eating like enough. And it was a funny call, but I think that was like, I wouldn't say that was like what got you over the hump, but I think after that call, it was definitely like we didn't even have that issue again.
Dude, exactly. I think that was like supposed to be the last month and of like the third month, and
Yeah,
I was like, I think I regressed, dude. I think something like that. You were just like, yo, you were just flat out, yo, just lock back, just lock in, just lock in. That was it.
yeah, that's good stuff, dude. Also, it's like now, where you are. It's like I feel like going through the program, hey, you shouldn't have a coach forever. It's like
No.
having a good coach is like you should be able to learn all the stuff to the fact where it's like, dude, you could make your own nutrition plan right now. That's what you're doing. You're getting back in it. It's summer. You're making your own nutrition plan. Like
Hmm.
you can understand how to schedule your workouts and do it, in line with your MMA training. It's like ideally you should have all the information because it's like we've communicated enough, and it's like, hey, I don't need to make a nutrition plan for you. I'm very confident like you could probably go make nutrition plans for your friends, and it's going to be really good because you kind of have been through it. You live through those experiences, and so it's like I feel like now it's just like we'll definitely like we'll keep catching up and stuff every couple months just because you go through the program, you spend so much time with someone, they're your friend at the end of it for sure. But it's also just like I'm very confident like you're just gonna get back on the horse and keep seeing results now.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's why I think the 3 months is perfect. Like maybe like I would say for anyone who's bulking, I
Yeah.
would say to do a little bit more, but for
Yeah, I
cutting,
would say 6 months is probably the best, honestly. But you did
yeah, yeah,
5,
no,
but
that's true. That's true.
6 months, because with bulk it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. For the bulking, 6 months perfect, but even like with the cut, 6 months would be good. 3 months,
Hmm.
but yeah, no, not for. I would say less than a year.
Yeah, awesome, dude. And the last question I have is like, if someone was on the fence about joining the program, was in the same shoes you were in when you joined, like, what would you tell them?
Let's see. Honestly, I would just say, just do it. Like, I don't know. I like that's just what made me do it. I was just like, at the end of the day, I'm spending money, so it's like if I'm spending all this money, it's like I'm gonna be committed no matter what. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I'm spending money on you to lock me in, to put your time in, to help me get better. So it's just like I would say just do it. Like you're getting all that money, you're spending all that money, like you have to make it worth it.
100%. I mean, you could go to ChatGPT right now and have it make a nutrition plan, and it's free. And it's like it could be a really good nutrition plan, but it's like doesn't mean you're going to actually follow it or hold you accountable. The part about having a coach is like, yeah, first of all, it's like you paid all that money, so it's like you're really going to pay a bunch of money and then just like sit around and do nothing and be lazy. It's like no, the point of an investment is like, hey, I invested this money now, like I actually have something we're gonna work towards. It's like you're not just wasting that money, and then you have me to be like kind of
Hmm.
not hold your hand because you did it yourself, but just be like, hey, like we could optimize this, so you got to be doing a better job at this. It's like ChatGPT is not going to do that for you. It's more than just like the information. It's a relationship at the end of the day.
ChatGPT hasn't gone through a fast metabolism, I'll say that.
Yeah, absolutely, brother.